Have you heard the show on Netflix, 13 Reasons Why? If you haven't, go watch it. If you have, wow. And if you've been watching it somewhat and you're not finished, then you should probably just turn this off because, I mean, I might ruin some things. No, I probably definitely will ruin some things, although I don't really have like a script for this video because I don't make scripts for my videos, I just fucking talk. But I watch this show because one of my best friends is a teacher, and the show focuses on like teen suicide, and my friend's a teacher, and she had situations in the sense of like having to warn parents that this show is on Netflix and that like it's like a thing and you should probably like either not let your kid watch it or watch it with your kids, kind of bringing awareness to this fucking Netflix show because it focuses on teen suicide and it's very fucking graphic with the actual suicide of the main character. And I'll tell you right now, I've watched a lot of shit in my life and seen a lot of things, and like I've actually never had a physical reaction to something I have seen till I watched this show. The suicide that they show, and then the parents finding the teenager, sorry. The parents finding the teenager, that whole like minute of like, I like felt flushed, I felt nauseous, I literally turned it off, and it kind of like took me by surprise because I've never ever had that reaction to anything I've ever seen. Now, once upon a time when I was like a really young kid, like 8, 9, 10, there's this VHS, that's right, VHS, there's this series called Faces of Death. And my mother would yell at like my father if I watched it, but like this show was like Faces of Death was like literally, probably shouldn't have been watching this as a young child, but I like a guy getting electrocuted and, you know, death penalty. I watched like this little tiny monkey, like they eat the monkey brains, but this monkey, they put the monkey between the tables and then they hammered the fuck out of it while it's screaming its little monkey head off, and like literally, what the fuck? First of all, I think my mother was right in this story, and then they like cut the fucking monkey and then ate his brains, like trapped the monkey in the point of the story is I've watched a lot of shit in my life, but I've never felt as sick or nauseated as when I watched the scene of the suicide and the parents finding the teenager. So the big question and the two conflicting sides, it's like, don't put ideas in kids' heads, okay, but guess what? Suicide happens, so fucking like fix it, or at least talk about it, and people are scared to talk about it. Now, there's a lot of things that go on in the show, and it's very intricate, and I really like the way that they do flashback scenes. It's very smooth for a show that constantly is doing flashbacks. It's very smooth, and I like that. As a person who likes to make videos, I appreciate that. As far as the actors, it's your typical, like, I'm watching high schooler actors, and I kind of want to sleep with all of them, and it's fine. It's fine because they're not really 16 and 17. They're literally in their 20s, so by all means, carry on. But, and then the whole topic of suicide, you know, you would think that there's an inciting force as to why some kid would like kill themselves, or even an adult, you know, whatever it is, there's an inciting force, like this has to happen, and that's why they were miserable, and that's why they killed themselves. However, through watching the show, whilst there was some sort of inciting force, it was a buildup of things, and a buildup of signs that parents, teachers, and even friends didn't really, you know, I don't want to say pay attention to, but didn't think twice of, because also, like, why should they? And I don't mean that in a negative way, I mean that in the fact that, like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that you're having a shitty day? Or, like, you see in the show the same, like, day through different eyes, and that's what I like about the show, because I write in my book, and I'm putting my book on the internet, and I have the exact same like event in certain instances, and I know other people were there, and they have a completely different perspective of it. And that's why I like this show, because you never really know how somebody's perceiving a day an event, a moment, a conversation. You have no idea. So it's very hard to like say that this show is good at coaching society into talking more about suicide, I guess, or to helping curb the situation. However, I do think that its existence is sparking the like, okay, you know what, maybe I'm gonna pay extra special attention. You know what, when you got friends who you know well and things start to change, and or you had a kid who things start to change, like, I don't know, it's a very situational like thing that you can bring out of this series, but it's a very, very intricate. I don't really know how I feel about every single episode, but in total, I don't think that it's anything that should be shied away from when trying to talk about suicide, because it does happen a lot, and it's not just teenagers. Like I said, it's adults as well, and I don't know. Really? That means I need to end this because the TV thing just went on. But yeah, go watch the show. See how you feel about it. And if you actually think that there's somebody in your orbit that has suicidal thoughts, or if you just don't even know and not even sure, fish around. Be extra attentive. Do your due diligence to be there for someone. Even saying like, how's your day? You know, it could mean the world. It could mean life or death to someone. And you're not at fault for knowing either or. It's just that it needs to be talked about more. And that's all I gotta say. We're done!